This is number 10 off the homework riddle 163. So this is 6-2 homework. Solving by substitution was the plan. Here's what the system I'm looking at for this problem. And remember, the expectation is that everybody is copying this problem into their notebook so you can review it later. So even if you got it right, go ahead and jot it down. It won't kill you if you weren't here. Please copy it to your notebook first. Then when you do your homework, you can copy it over then. I'm cool with that as long as you guys have it and you can follow the work.
Wait. Go ahead. After that, we do 11 or
Well, after we're done with 10, we'll talk about other problems. Now, the trick to solving by substitution is to make a key. And the question you ask yourself when you start is, which of the 4 variables are you going to solve for?
Why?
Why am I doing that, or am I picking y? Right. The rule of thumb is you want to go after the variable that has no number on it first. Yeah.
This is where I got like super mixed up with the homework, because there are problems like this and you can't use substitution for everything.
All of these you could have used substitution.
I used substitution on every single one of them. I got them all wrong. I got one right.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Well, that happens. You can still get them wrong, but they can all be done by substitution. The trick is to watch all the little things. Like on this guy. All 12 of these problems had one variable. I'm going to put the sheet back up here real quick. All 12 of these have at least one variable that has no coefficient on it. The only exceptions being like 6, where it's a negative. 10, the one we're working on, that x doesn't have a variable on it. It's a good target. So, that being said, let's go ahead and solve the bottom equation. X minus 2y equals 2 for x. So what do I got to do with it?
I just added 2y to each side.
That's exactly what you got to do. Add 2y to both sides. When you're solving for a variable, you want to get it all by its onesome, so you remove everything else by doing the opposite.
Well, it'll be on the other side, so they won't.
So now I'm down to x is equal to 2y plus 2.
Then you go to 5x and put parentheses 2y plus 2.
Exactly. You go back to the other equation, and you do your substitution. Now, most of the mistakes are going to happen in little things. When I first copied the problem down, I lost that negative 11. That changes everything. It changes the whole problem. So copying it down correctly, doing a correct substitution. So, all right, we'll review that. Let me copy it down first, and we'll distribute it. All right, so there's my plug-in.
It's going to be 10y plus 10.
Exactly.
3y.
When you multiply times parentheses, everybody gets times. So 5 times 2y is 10y.
Can you do?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
No, I
Wait.
was gonna say, can you do one that has like not only a 5 but like another number? Because I don't get how to do it.
You just multiply.
Like, what if it was like 3x plus 5 times 2y plus 2?
Okay, hang on. Sidebar. So what do you want me to write here to do?
What if it was like 3x plus 5?
3x plus 5.
And then the rest of that times
Oh.
2y plus 2.
Oh, so you want to multiply this?
I mean, like, how do you distribute that?
Like that?
That's what the homework had.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I feel like
That did not happen in the homework tonight. That should not have happened. Because what you're doing here is you're multiplying 2 binomials together,
So are you? Yeah.
and that wasn't part of tonight's assignment, last night's
So are you
assignment.
only supposed to have one variable outside of the y?
Yeah, because when you substitute in for the x, you might be putting an expression in there, but you're not multiplying it by another binomial.
So that 5 is there's always going to be one number where the 5 is.
Or it might just be a 1 if you're lucky. Some of the earlier problems in the homework only had it was x minus 3y, there was no number there. So when you plugged in, there was no distributing to do. Yeah, but this is not part, I mean, I could show you how to do this later,
No, don't show me.
but right now this is not part of this chapter. So we'll get to that at another time. Oh, all right, back to work. Plus 10 minus 3y, negative 11. Let's see, now what am I going to do with this? Combine like terms. So 7y plus 10 is negative 11. So that's doing that. Now I want to get the y by itself, so I subtract the 10 from each side. So that leaves me 7y is equal to negative 21. And then divide each side by 7. The painful part of these problems, guys, as I've said before, is that most of the work really is not in the system part. The system part was getting to this line right here. Getting the substitution done. All of this stuff I know is still challenging for a lot of us. It's the raw algebra, the chapter 2 stuff. But this is where you gotta be real careful and take your time. I actually have to agree, 30 minutes for 4 problems is a pretty good estimate of how fast you can work through these. Take your time with it and go back and check your work. So I got my answer of negative 3. Now I can go ahead and do my substitution back to find out what x is. So I take this equation, I plug in what I know y is equal to. I'm left with x is equal to negative 6 plus 2, or negative 4. So my answer is negative 4, negative 3.
How do you know if your answer is right? Because on the homework, like, you said, like, you had to find it, but on the test, how are you going to know?
Okay. On the test, how do you check your answer, basically? What you do is you pick either of the 2 equations, and you plug those numbers in to see if they work.
Oh, yeah, I know how to do that.
So as a very short check, let's do x minus 2y equals 2. Let's scoot this so that we can see. Negative 4 minus 2 times negative 3 equals 2. Is that true? Is negative 4 plus 6 equal to 2? Yep. So it checks out. And that will work in either of the 2 equations. And that's your fail-safe. And if it doesn't work, then you say, okay, I know I screwed up somewhere. One thing that's on the short answer on quizzes and tests, if you get an answer and then you check it and it didn't work, and then you go through it a couple times and you still can't find your mistake, and you write down here, I know my answer's wrong, I've checked it, I can't find why it's wrong, but I think this is, I've done everything I can do and your work's neatly organized, that's worth a couple more partial credit points, because it shows that you're trying, that you're thinking, and at least you know that that should be able to be plugged back into one of the original 2 equations. And that's one of the things I need to know you know. Because remember, the quizzes are all about showing me that you know what you're supposed to know at that point.
Could it go down a little bit?
I mean, like that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of the work. There we go. And I'm going to go